This is Rising Phoenix Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Rhodes. This podcast is for men struggling with an unwanted divorce. I interview experts on divorce, mental health, and I provide insights gained from my own divorce journey. You are not alone. Join me. Joining me today is Dr. Greg Matos. Dr. Greg, let's just jump right into this. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been working primarily with 20 and 30 somethings for the last couple of years, particularly trying to help them date better. And before that, I was a military psychologist who went on to specialize in couple psychology because it's just more fun to do. That's my
uh,
bio.
I like it. Man, there's a lot there to dig into, perhaps another time. But okay, so dating is kind of your thing, and it's something that obviously divorced men have to deal with. I would say, based on demographics and based on my own personal experience and who I am, most of my listeners are in the 40 to 50-ish dating range. And speaking from also my experience, why is it so damn hard to date in today's modern world?
Yeah, there's lots going on. Three things specifically that I would want your listeners to know. And so, so first of all, I am a nationally board certified couple psychologist. I'm a leader in the field. I'm also a divorced human being.
Ah,
So I was married and went through that experience. So anyone who's listening to this right now who's gone through divorce, even if it was really, really smooth, it's not a pleasant experience. So cheers to everybody who's made it on the other side. And anybody who's jumping back into the dating pool after they've been with somebody for like a decade or longer or something is going to want to know that there's at least three things. Well, there's lots of stuff they need to know. And this is what I do for a living. I work with clients around this stuff. But there's three relationship trends that I would want your listeners to know. And by the way, I teach this stuff in this Date Better program that I have with my practice. But so the first thing is that if you're a man, so if you identify as a man, which I do, and you are on Hinge, which I would recommend you be on, uh, if you are one of the 15% of men who get over 50% of likes on that dating app, you're not sweating it right now. Okay. So my whole philosophy for my clients is this: even if you don't think you're one of the 15%, we're going to get you behaving as though you are. And then you're going to be fine, probably. And so, anyway, bottom line is it sucks for most people in general. That's why the apps aren't doing as well as we thought they would. And probably we're going to end up going in a direction over the next decade where we're doing more in person connections and other things, which I hope happens. But bottom line is that's number one. So dating apps, hard for men specifically. Okay. Uh, Particularly because over 62% of Hinge users, as an example, by the way, this is like 2 year old data right now. So I don't know what it is right now,
right.
are men. And so most folks on the app are heterosexual. So most men on the apps are looking for a woman. And the numbers are not working in their favor, and they won't. They'll get worse. Okay. So the second thing is sexual intimacy is down. It's been down for the last 3 decades. It's down amongst teenagers. It's down amongst college students, college age folks. It's down amongst married people who've been married for 15 years. It may not be down amongst divorced people who are back in the dating pool. Okay.
All right.
So that's good news for anyone who wants to have a good sexual life and they were married for a while and whatever. You could live happily ever after. It's possible. Okay. That's I'll stop there.
Okay, yeah,
Actually, no, wait, I said three. I said
you
three
said
things.
three. Yeah, you got one more
I
because
said three things.
I got a lot
The,
of questions based on what you just said. But go ahead, hit us with number three.
okay. The third thing is that there is a massive skills deficit, particularly amongst men. And we can talk a lot about that. But that's yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. So, okay, first, um, man, which one's first? Why? Okay, why Hinge? Why is that one your recommendation?
Because regardless of whether or not you're the most attractive man in the world or the most attractive woman in the world, you can still communicate your interest in a person and they'll receive that. So if you're on Bumble, there has to be a match,
Right.
which is why they're not doing well.
Right.
So if you're a listener, don't go on Bumble right now. I'm sorry.
I'm not an investor. You could say that's fine.
It's not good.
All
Even though
right.
yeah, anyway, I won't get into it, but I've consulted to the dating apps, let's just put it that way. And
Sure.
Hinge is the best one because that reason. When you like a photo, the person who you've liked knows you've liked them.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Why is it that you said I think the number is 15% of men are not sweating it? Why?
Yeah.
What are they doing that makes them not sweat
Yeah.
it?
So it's really easy, and I'm gonna make a joke now, right? Okay.
Uh,
It's really easy. Okay.
be
You just have
attractive?
to be you just have to be wealthy,
Oh, okay.
very attractive,
Okay.
and socially skillful.
All right. Well, I'm fucked in all regards. Okay, wait, let me ask you this. This is a rabbit
Yeah.
hole of a bit. How the fuck do you look wealthy on a dating app without looking like a fucking douchebag?
Yeah, don't. So what you want to do, and this stuff I teach my clients, by the way. What you want to do is you want to have that first photo be the most important photo to you. Any other photo doesn't matter because just as you who are listening to this right now and have been on the dating apps, even people, even men, let's just talk about men, even men who are not getting attraction from other women on the from women on the apps, still have an opportunity to connect with somebody. Like it's still a possibility. Gosh, I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest with you.
Well,
Remind me what the question was,
the
that where
question
we were
was
going. Yeah.
how do you look how do you
Oh,
convey that you're wealthy without looking like a giant douchebag?
okay. Just delete everything I just said right before this. You need that first photo needs to be professional quality, but you can take that photo with your iPhone or your whatever phone you have.
Right.
So that's the most important thing because a woman is only going to spend 1 to 3 seconds looking at that first photo before they swipe or hit the X on the hinge.
Right.
So don't look at like what did you say?
Douchebag.
A douchebag. Don't look like a douchebag by don't not being a douchebag.
Well, you pose. I don't have a Ferrari, but if I did,
Oh
would I pose in front of a Ferrari? But
no.
then don't
See,
you look like
listen.
a fucking giant
No one. So
douchebag?
I used to when I first moved to Southern California, I moved to Venice. And what I realized very quickly was that you would not be able to tell me between me and the homeless people or the unhoused people. All right. So what the way you look matters, of course, but the quality of the photo matters more. So the quality of the photo, meaning the lighting that you have
Okay.
at least from the top of your head to your stomach in that first photo, like a bust shot. And there's lots of other things that I could tell your listeners in terms of how to improve, level up their dating app profile.
Yeah. Okay. So, be wealthy, look good, and what was the other one? Socially, be
This is the one
socially.
I can actually help with.
Yeah.
The social skills. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. Well, before we get to that, you mentioned that for 15%, they're not sweating it. They're doing well. They have great photos and they can convey their wealth and somehow convey their social skills. I'd love to dive into that a little bit more, but so they're doing pretty well. The rest of them aren't. But what about women? Because I do see a lot of. I'm only on Facebook dating right now because I'm fucking fed up with all of it. To be quite frank with you, I've been doing it for 6 years and it's all bullshit. But I'm sure I lack skills in how to convey these things that you're mentioning via a fucking photo and a profile
Maybe
pic.
you could be amazing and you just haven't found your person yet.
Yeah, I mean that's a positive way to look at it. I love your positivity.
It's accurate. It's potentially accurate and more
Listen,
helpful.
I'm fucking amazing. There's no question. That's there's no debate there. No debate there. But that aside, does it suck for women too? Because I see this a lot in dating
Yeah,
profiles when women are like, Jesus Christ, this is a shit show.
yeah.
Does it suck for them as well? Because it seems that way.
Sucks for everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
one of the most important things that I do as a psychologist with my clients is to, regardless of what's going on, dating stuff, anxiety, depression, PTSD, whatever it is to convey accurately, by the way, that people are not alone in their experience, their suffering. So
Yeah.
right now, there's a lot of suffering in our world. And there's a lot of suffering in our country, the United States specifically, and there's a lot of suffering in the dating situation across the board, from young men and women to older folks, people who have been married for 25 years and are waking up and their wives are saying, I don't want to be married to you anymore, as an example. So there's lots of suffering going on. And I think we should recognize that we're all in the same dumpster fire. And
Yeah.
then that takes the pressure off,
Yeah.
because a first date, which is what you're trying to do on the dating app or by introducing yourself to somebody in person, a first date is just an opportunity to have fun for an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
That's all your listeners should think about when they think about first date. Is that's it. So yeah, everybody's struggling. The women are struggling. I'll give you an example. Again, these are like extremes, right?
Sure.
But they're more interesting. Um, 25% of women are getting over 50% of the likes on Hinge. Okay, so they're not sweating it in the way that you and I are talking about right now, but they are struggling. Why? Okay, this is going to sound completely ridiculous to your listeners, maybe, but let's just imagine, have your listeners think about the most attractive woman that they've seen recently on Hinge or one of the dating apps, and who they're like, you know what, fuck, I'm not, there's no way this person's going to hit me back, but I'm going to click their like anyway, which you
Right.
should do, by the way.
Right.
Um, and then what's happening for those women? They're inundated. So I've worked with female clients who are like, fuck, Dr. Greg, like, I've got hundreds of likes in my Hinge thing when I wake up in the morning, and I don't want to deal with it, so I don't even open the app. So then you have that problem.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it begs the question because you did say that it's like 60% men. Do women, is that just the societal? It doesn't seem to make any sense to me, numbers wise. So is it because women are avoiding these dating apps because they have shitty experiences and they're like, fuck this, or they're just avoiding them altogether for whatever reason, or the numbers skewed demographically where it's just for whatever reason there are more single men than single women?
Yeah. So this is speculation, what I'm about to suggest, because I don't have access to the internal data of these companies. Although I would love to have that data because that's what I write about
We could just
every.
start our own dating app. Just say, I'm just
Okay,
throwing
well
that
you
out
can
there.
you can do it, and I'll consult with
You
you
can
maybe on
consult. All right. Well, that's
it.
fair. For free.
But yeah, yeah. Um, wait, what are we talking about again? This is one issue I have. It's the end of the year. It's like
Oh no.
I'm ready for my vacation.
Oh, I hear you. I'm burnt out myself. Don't get me wrong. I just spent 3 days in Montreal, and tonight I'm
Nice,
going to New York City, and
nice.
it's I have a real job. This is does
Yeah, I
not
got you. I got you.
this
No,
one does not
I
pay the
got you.
bills.
What was the
But
question again?
yeah, is
What
it
were
a
we
demo?
talking about again?
There are more women on dating apps than
Oh
men.
yes, yes, yes. Okay, I got you. Yes. So this is speculation, but here's the deal. Women are choosing. This is the controversial but accurate interpretation of this. Women are choosing not to date anymore. That's the biggest reason. So particularly 40s, 50s, 60s, and above, you have, let's just imagine an example of one of these women who's 50 years old and has a bajillion dollars because they're doing really well. And they just divorced their husband because he wasn't doing what they wanted him to be doing. And I'm joking. And we could talk about all these. There's all
Sure,
sorts of
sure.
angles here,
Yeah,
but but they are not going to marry somebody else because they don't want to deal with having to take care of this person when they're old. This is a new societal trend. And they can live a perfectly happy life just being single and like hanging out with their friends and having sex and whatever with men if they want. And
yeah.
there's no, and to all your listeners who are in their 40s or 30s, 40s, whatever, you don't need to be in a romantic relationship, you know? So that's new too.
Yeah. I feel like that. Yeah, I agree. I think that's true, but also it's that frustrates the fuck out of me. It feels very unfair, right? Because I'm over here just, and I think all men, like we really want a partner. We want, at least I do, and I think a lot of the listeners, obviously we were fucking married, right? And I think a lot of listeners, my listeners, feel the same. We would love to have a partner. We feel like our lives are better, and I think statistically that the data bears that out. I don't have them in front of me, but I've seen them where it's like men are happier in marriage than women or whatever, right? And so it feels very fucking unfair that they're happy without us, and I feel like we're over here with our dicks in our hands, and it feels. I know life's not fair and all that kind of good shit, but that feels very unfair to me.
Mm.
And it feels it also sometimes I think, well, what does that say about men then? Like, are we? Why is it they're and I think I had someone on or I talked to someone recently. I don't know if I put it out yet, but they said yeah, I did. I was the Professor Neil. He said that basically once you get to a certain age, then it was about longevity and the length of life. Single women live longer than single men, except to a certain age where it's like 75 and older. Then it's because you know, in case you fall down, you don't have your fucking life alert bracelet to click or whatever. You know what I mean? But
I
so,
got you.
but so it feels very unfair, and I know life is unfair, but it fucking sucks because I would really like to have another. I don't know about marriage. That we'd have to talk about
Yeah.
prenups, but I would really like to have a partner. It's been 6 years, and it feels frustrating. I really want that, and it feels frustrating to me that they're able to just be like, fuck it, never mind. That
Well,
sucks.
so I get you. It makes sense. I want to speak to the word unfair because I understand what you're saying and it makes sense to me. And I want to like totally take a paradigm shift here and look at it in a completely different way. And I think if your listeners think about it this way, they'll be happier. Um, each and every one of us, each of us, all of us, including me, will benefit from practicing our relationship skills with really good friends, starting there. And I'm not saying you,
Right.
I'm talking about generally speaking,
Sure.
these are the points I want to make sure to hit
Yeah.
for your listeners. That if you have rewarding good guy friends, you're gonna feel like, I don't know, 75% of your time making money at work, making money, and then hanging out with your friends, doing fun things, and hopefully like sharing, all the crazy dating stories that you have, you know,
Yeah.
and then you've got 25% of your time that you could dedicate to dating. And then when you're focused on that for just like 25% of your life, then it's a different calculus because, and I'm not saying this for you again, I want to make that
I mean,
point clear.
I'm in
Yeah.
the demographic, so I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm not
Yeah.
offended. I'm
Well, yeah.
always open to listen
Yeah.
to. Well, it's not working out for me, so
I got you. I
I'm
got you.
open to listening to anything.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the first thing is just like, that's the first piece. And then it's really good, by the way. This is one of the pieces that many men, particularly folks who are, younger. I'm talking 20s, 30s, but 20s in their 20s specifically. And I work with a lot of college age folks now that I'd rather that they be out trying to connect with human beings and just like creating a life that's full and as emotionally rewarding as possible without a romantic partner, which again, I think could be like 75%. That's my view. And then
Yeah,
25% is huge. It's a big deal. And I, like you, do enjoy being in romantic relationships.
sure.
So let's help your listeners start a healthy romantic relationship in 2026.
Well, if you need a guinea pig, I mean, it sounds like you've done it, so I certainly am a candidate. But you make a good point, and I think it is in some ways it's almost taking a page from women, right? Because they do have, and this is why men sort of feel the effects of divorce a lot more because their social networks, their social lives are fed through their wives, right? And when their wives leave, they have very little of that, and so women, because women are much not my ex-wife so much, but that's a whole other story. But most women are they're a lot better at that. You know, there's the sort of the jokey, funny, memey way to look at it. Like men are always drugged to things. Like you want to go. She wants to go to her friend's house for a Christmas party or whatever, and you're like, oh fuck. You're like, who am I going to meet? Who am I going to talk? What am I going to talk about? Like all these things. So I think what we're saying is a little bit of taking a page from how women handle their relationships. But why is it so difficult for men to behave in that way, or to engage in the world the way that women do? Because I don't think connecting with people on a social level is strictly obviously is strictly a feminine female type of thing. Or I mean, maybe you could sort of shoehorn and crowbar that in there, but I don't think so. I think it's a human skill, right? But why is it so hard for men to, again, generalizing, seemingly struggle? Why do we struggle with that so much?
Yeah, I'm going to answer that by sharing the antidote to the problem.
Love it.
So you and I are the antidote right now. This conversation is the antidote, which means the point I'm trying to make is that we, as men, speaking to other men, we can't, at this point, as older men, we can say to our friends and to our uncles and to our fathers, if they're still alive, mine is not,
Mine neither.
um, hey, this is the kind of existence that I want. I want to have like I want to be able to tell you when I'm sad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I wanna go play beach volleyball, but then like tell you about how ridiculous my girlfriend was last night or whatever it was, right?
Right.
So having both the traditional ways of connecting, which I do in my life, maybe you do too, and then also these non-traditional ways, which is just being a good friend, by the way. And so
Yeah.
yeah, it's not gendered. I studied
No.
masculinity in my doctoral research because I've always been interested in this, particularly because I am the only man in my family. I have five older sisters. I grew up with them.
Shit.
And so I always figure I say, oh wow, I got some inside scoop here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I gotta I
Right.
gotta share this inside scoop. You know what I mean?
We could. I mean, we could have a. I've covered that topic more than once because there is the societal question about masculinity, toxic masculinity, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to. We'll have to do that another time. But I would love to have those types of discussions. But it. I've also experienced this myself in some ways where I'll meet guys throughout this journey and I just can't connect with some guys, like that guy's a dick or whatever, he's annoying or like we don't align. And I don't know if women overlook some of these things in terms of like politics and values and opinions. I don't know, but it seems like for me, I'll hang out with a guy and be like, that's just I don't like that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, and that's okay. By the way, I had a guy on my I don't have this podcast anymore, but I ran it for 3 years. It was called A Better Love, and I had a professor from University of Maryland on, and he was talking about that there's five. He came up with this concept that there's five kinds of friends, and you'll have to watch that show to get all of them. But the idea being that, and I really love this for men specifically. It's important for your listeners to hear this.
Yeah,
That if you have one really close confidant, guy friend,
yeah,
that's probably all you need for your entire life, okay? But
right,
if you have like maybe two or three other guy friends
sure,
that are different kind of friends, that's cool. And then this professor was talking about, and then you have these other people who are like,
right,
who are like, hey Ed, whatever,
right, right,
and it's your partner's friend's husband, or
right, right.
it's that kind of situation, and you only see them once a year, and that's all, and it's fine, and you just try to be kind when you
Yeah,
do interact with them. But it comes down to this, and it's values. So I don't have a son yet, but if I do have a son, they will understand my values, and they will understand the kind of man I am in the world. And so they'll also understand that from a very early age, they're going to be oriented toward people's eyeballs
right.
and relationships. They're going to know that right from the start because their dad is me if I get to have a son. So that is the antidote, is for us to fix it with ourselves, and then
Yeah.
it's always been the same antidote. We
Yeah.
just haven't figured it out, and it's been like a couple hundred years.
Yeah, and I think we know some of the stuff. I think we inherently know, because
Yeah.
I see a lot of this sort of a victimization of man and poor man, and we're getting fucked, and no one likes us, and all that kind of shit. And I'm like, it's still a man's world, and any problems that do exist, we can fix them.
Amen.
Men are lonely. Okay, well then, fucking like, I tried to do local groups because I run a Facebook group, support group. It's the largest divorce support group for men on Facebook. It's like 8,000 men in
Nice.
there.
Nice.
but try to get them to get out of their fucking houses and get together. It's really
Yeah.
hard to do.
It's called
But
avoidance. It's called avoidance. Yeah.
1,000%, and especially when you're going through something like that, because you are raw and emotional, and there's a lot going on there, and God forbid we fucking talk about those things
Yeah.
and cry
Yeah.
about them and feel. But my point is, yes, that is an issue, but it's up to us to fucking fix it. Like
Amen.
no one's coming to save us but us. Like I
Mhm.
can't. We can't keep doing the same fucking things over and over. 104 or 105 men every day kill themselves in America. So that to me says there's something fucking wrong with how we're doing it. And it's not because women suck, right? That's just fucking nonsense. It's because we're not able to, for whatever reason, get out of our own fucking way sometimes and do the things that we need to do. And I'm not, listen, I'm sometimes just as guilty. I do have a couple core really good friends. But do I always reach out to them when I'm struggling? No, I don't. Sometimes I'm like, oh fuck, it's I'll handle it. It's my thing, right? And
Mhm.
so I know it's on us, but that still doesn't make it any more
Easy.
difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
or
still
make it more
it's
easy.
still
Yeah,
very, very hard.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't make it any more. It doesn't make it easier. So I want to shift a little bit because this is another part of this topic when we talk about dating after divorce and things of that nature, and it's something that I was guilty of. I dated right away. But in your view, what is the recommended time a man should wait before he starts dipping his toe or his entire fucking body into the dating pool?
Yeah. I read a piece in the Atlantic like a year ago, which I sort of laughed out loud because it had no evidence behind it, but I really liked the idea.
Hmm.
And the idea was that what if getting into a romantic relationship soon after your divorce is actually an okay idea? Like it's one of the options.
It is an
I
option.
I believe that you have to be ready to be your best self before you fuck with somebody else's heart. And that's my point. And you will know when that is. Typically, I will tell people when you are not only like you feel like you want to talk to somebody, you want to ask somebody out, you want those things, like you have that pull, right? So if you're coming out of divorce and you're hurting, then that's not the feeling you're going to be having, right? So you shouldn't be dating. But if you feel like you're attracted and you feel and things feel light for you, and then maybe that is the moment for you to start to just go grab a coffee with somebody and just say hi and get to know somebody. So you don't have, right? First dates are not, you don't, there ought not to be any expectations for anyone in the universe about a first date unless, except that they're safe. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you? So I want to get a little bit more nuanced. Like, are there specific signs you feel like, or things that you will signal to you, that you are ready? Like, is it interactions with your ex that doesn't get you angry, or I don't know, you start to message with someone and they ghost you and you go, oh well, is that like, 'cause there's certain things that like you can use as sort of markers to be like, okay,
Yeah, I get
maybe
you.
I am ready.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that there are markers, and I appreciate the ones that you just shouted out. Um, there's a couple of ways I've talked about this, and so hopefully one of the ways is helpful right now.
Sure.
But I think the idea is it's not how much you feel. That's not the point. So like if someone ghosts me, I can feel pissed about that. That's okay. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime.
All
Yeah.
right. I
So
mean,
if you are getting numb to being ghosted, that's a symptom of the the dating situation, not you.
right.
I hope you can hear that, listeners.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I would want, just to shift the perspective a little bit, number one. Um, so then the second thing I would say is, what is your intention? So give me an example of one of your listeners' intentions, do you think?
Well, I can tell you mine. I mean, initially, I just wanted to put my dick in anything I could, if I'm being honest. Let's just call a spade a
Hmm.
spade. And then I think it's this weird transition where I think you go from, and I'm not even sure I fully made it. I think you go from looking for someone to fulfill the hole that has been created, to the vacuum that has been created, however you want to look at it. Like you had someone and now you don't. I think there's
Sure.
a
Yeah.
desire to fulfill that.
Yeah.
And then I think you get to a point, at least I have, where it's I just want someone to do some shit with. Like it, but
Yeah.
not necessarily fill the entire void, because it's been 6 years. That void doesn't really exist anymore. I have created a life without that void
Exactly.
in a lot of ways. But
Yeah.
I get tired of doing things like going to concerts by myself. Like I've done it, but
Sure.
I don't like doing it. Not
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Going to
So
dinner is a good thing.
you're an example of being in a good place, I would say, which means that, and if any of your listeners are in a similar place, that's a good place to be, which is that you're not, by the way, you can have sex with anyone consensually that wants to have sex with you. So that's good.
Yes.
That's good news, guys. All
That's
right.
allowed.
That's allowed and it's fine if you're
Yeah.
18 and it's legal and all the other things.
Right. Right.
And consensual, most importantly.
Yes.
But yeah, so I don't want anyone to have shame about having sex after they get divorced, like, period. And then follow that up with the idea that, like, what is your intention? So if the intention is that, you know what, it'd be really awesome to fall in love again, right? It would be really awesome to have somebody in my corner, somebody to live with and build with and, enjoy life with and whatever, the full thing, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe that's the intention. And if that's the intention and you've been married for 10 years, let's say, then why don't you give yourself at least a year?
Mm.
Yeah. And maybe if you're like one of the 15% of men out there or 25% of women who don't have any issues with finding a date, then you start to remind yourself, and by the way, if you're not one of these people, you should think this way anyway. You remind yourself that you could date, but should you date? And the should is like, oh, I could date. Like I'm not totally fucked up right now.
Right. Right.
All
Right.
right. And then the second point I want to make is you don't need to be healed or you don't need to be 100% to date because the first date doesn't matter.
Okay.
Not that you want to be a piece of shit on a date. I'm
Right.
saying
Right.
it doesn't matter because you're just going there to be yourself,
Yeah.
have fun doing something that you
Yeah.
want to do with this person, and then go home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know? So no pressure on first dates. I keep coming back to that point. It's very important. Why do I keep on coming back to the point? Because avoidance is high because whatever,
Right.
anxiety, fear,
All of it.
rejection, sensitivity, whatever, all the reasons that we avoidance can be high.
Right. Well, let's shift back to dating profiles a little bit, and let you can coach me here on this one,
Got you.
because I feel like I'm a decent looking fella. I'm obviously not a male model. I could stand to lose a few pounds, but I feel like I'm a decent looking fella. I do have a pretty decent job. I do pay. I get paid well for my job. Not I'm not a doctor. I'm not making millions of dollars a year, but I do okay, right? I pay my bills and whatnot. I feel like I have a good story. I'm a veteran in the United States Navy. I have 2 degrees. I'm a wonderful father. I have 2 daughters. I am emotionally intelligent, I would say, to varying degrees, but I have fuck all when it comes to luck on dating apps. Like, I mean, I've had dates, and don't get me wrong, but um, I'm not. I haven't been successful, obviously, in terms of finding a partner. Finding dates is one thing. Even
Mm-hmm.
that's sometimes can be rough.
Mm-hmm.
So what should my let's try and get if you want, if you can,
Yeah.
what as specific as we can, what should my profile say? What am I saying? Am I talking about me? Am I talking about what I'm looking for? Both. I mean, some of them you have only so many fucking characters you could put in there. What
Yeah.
should my profile say?
Yeah. First of all, let me thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Um, I served for a little over a decade, and and with a lot of really good people.
Amen to that. Well, thank you for
So
your service.
yeah, cheers, cheers. Um, anyway, see, I get distracted by my patriotism. I kidding. I'll give you. I'm gonna. Okay, here are some freebies. All right, here's some freebies. But if you want anything else, you got to come work with me.
I got you.
Not you. I'm talking about your listeners.
Sure, sure.
And by the way, I'm in Southern California, in Los Angeles, so that's where I work, and I work with clients in California. So,
Okay.
um, but I also work with people who come from outside of the state just to like hang out for the weekend.
Yep.
Um, that's fun too. I can tell. Anyway, bottom line is there's a few things. I already mentioned one of them, which was two of them actually. I mentioned two of like five tips that I typically make sure that my clients hear from me.
Okay.
And that would, I'll just a reminder, the first photo needs to be high quality. It needs to be almost
Okay.
professional, but it can just be taken with your phone.
Yep.
This it has to be this
Yep.
image. Okay. The second thing is that you need to have, and you may have all these things, by the way. Again, sometimes it's just about luck, timing, and other things that has
Sure,
nothing to
sure.
do with anything else. Again, I tell my clients all the time this. You could be the most attractive, wealthy, most skillful human being in the world and sit across from another very attractive and not like each other.
Very
It
true.
has nothing. It's like about so like take the
Yeah.
pressure off. But anyway,
Yep.
one photo needs to be on your dating app needs to be a full length photo so that if somebody walked into a restaurant or like to the front of the restaurant or something you're meeting that they would recognize you without a doubt. Okay, so I've been on a date with a catfisher
Okay.
who who this was like a few years ago, but who was like had these gorgeous photos. I mean, she is gorgeous. The woman who I went on a date with is gorgeous. She's just I don't know, it's like 10 years older than those photos.
Right, right,
So
right.
so anyway, so full length photo, another one. Respond to all the prompts, regardless of how many prompts you can respond to. Respond to them in a way. This is important. Doesn't I don't care what you say, and don't use AI to like craft shit. Don't do that
Right.
because AI is not going to be there at the fucking date. All right.
Yeah, true.
Don't use AI unless you're like generating ideas. Just make sure.
Gotcha.
Um, but respond to the prompts in a way that can help you if you're a man, because for the next 100 years, men will still initiate these things.
Yep.
Um, that you can start a conversation with the person who so that and you're gonna talk about something that you actually fucking want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's going to be so many people that you have to go through probably before you find somebody that you even want to go on a first date with, and that happens. So those are three things. The fourth and the fifth are the most important things. Okay, and I literally it's my method that I teach, and I had to. I'm excited about this because I this last year I ran Day Better for the whole year with college students.
Hmm.
I had two students who came in who had never been on a date before. They've been in 6 month plus romantic relationships after they took my class. I'm just saying. So
All right.
skills is a big deal.
Yeah.
And the two things your listeners need to know, the most important thing, if they forget everything else that I've said today, these are the two most important things for dating apps. You have to initiate conversation within 24 hours of matching,
Yeah.
and you have to ask the person out on a date to a specific place at an approximate amount of time within 72 hours of matching.
All
That
right.
will solve 90% of your listeners' problems.
All right. I like
Okay,
it.
literally today I'm matched with four women right now. I'm dating right now. Okay. I've matched with four people today. I don't recommend you match with more than that.
No.
I don't recommend you date more than two people at the same time for more than two dates. But I do recommend you go on lots of dates, as many as you can, with a lot of beautiful people.
Gotcha. All right. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
One other thing I want to selfishly ask about, and we'll cover your program and all that shortly here. Um, one of my struggles, and this could be a self-protection type of thing, I'm not sure, but one of my struggles lately is I'll match with people, I'll go on dates even, I'll find somewhat of a connection. And then I feel like because I am emotionally intelligent, because I have done a lot of work, that that sort of smacks up against these people who are single for a reason, right? And I'm included in that, right? I
Yeah,
I went
me
through a
too.
divorce, right? I had some I lacked in relationship skills, truly, and it led to there's other factors and stuff, but it was definitely a contributing factor. But I've learned, I think, to how to be better, more equipped, more tools, more skills around how to be emotionally intelligent and hold space and all those kind of good things, all those fucking buzzwords, right? I know my love language and my attachment style, all that good shit. But I feel like I'm finding women, especially of the beautiful variety, who have done no work because the statistics bear this out. Most women file for divorce. Therefore, most women, I think, don't see themselves as part of the problem. They see the partner as, and I'm generalizing, and I get all that. I'm just speaking about what I feel like I've experienced and how
Yeah, you
sometimes.
saying you're generalizing. You see the expression on my face right now. Anyway, go on, go on.
I feel like I feel I have this theory that if you're a very attractive woman, first of all, the numbers in terms of like who's on dating apps, so women have more choice in that regard. So therefore, what is the motivation to work on themselves? If they did the filing of the divorce and they left, like why are they working on themselves? They don't have, it's not their fault. It's the other dude's fault. So I
Oh,
feel like I'm finding women that are just as broken as I am in terms of relationship skills, but have done no work. And when they come up against someone that doesn't fit that template of a broken man, so to speak, lacking relationship skills, however you want to fucking describe them, they're going, well, this doesn't match up with my template and my attachment style, and therefore I'm out. Like you're not lining up with my experience in life, so it feels funky and it doesn't. I'm out. I'm not. There's no
mm,
connection. There's no connection here. Am I
mm.
wrong? Am I wrong? Or are there not enough women doing enough emotional intelligent work in today's modern world? And
Yeah.
again, I
Well,
get that that's generalizing. I understand
yeah, yeah. No, I got you. I got you. So first of all, I'm very pro women,
that. Sure.
and I've been pro women since I was born because, like I said, I have five older sisters, an awesome mom, and all the things.
Yeah,
So because of that, I like just want to change the premise of the question. Is again, I want to like take it from a completely different approach to thinking about what you're talking about, which I understand what you're talking about,
sure.
and you're not delusional. I'm just want to talk about it in a different way. I think neither you nor I nor any of your listeners want to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't want to be in a relationship with us.
True.
Full stop. It's the only fucking thing that matters.
Okay. I mean, I feel like when you go through this for a period of time, and maybe you're there. I don't know. You didn't say how long you've been single, but when you go through this for a period of time, you start looking for answers as to why.
No, that makes sense. No, I got you.
Right? Why?
Yeah.
What is the story here? What is the narrative? Is it that I am a piece of shit? Truly, like that's what my ex
Yeah.
said, right?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
is
Okay. Yeah.
she right? Or and again, generalizing, and I'm sure there are wonderful women out there.
Well, we
No,
know that there are. We know
it,
that there are.
well, yeah. I mean, I don't know about it in the dating world because I haven't found any, but I'm sure there are. But I have two daughters, so I'm
Oh,
not.
there you go. Well,
I'm
there you
certainly
go.
I'm certainly not anti-woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I haven't had the best luck in terms of my
Sure.
mother wasn't the best mother, and on and on and on and on. Right, right. We have our templates and our experiences, and we either learn from them or we don't. And I feel like women, generalizing, not anti-women at all. I don't hate women. I feel like in my experience, I'm not finding women that are doing the emotional, intelligent work that's required in order to have a healthy relationship.
Oh, yeah. Those are the wrong women for
And
you to date.
well, where are the ones that are doing that, sir?
Man,
Because I
listen, the question you just asked me is the actual real question.
yeah,
If
I
I
suppose it
may,
is.
if I may,
Sure, sure, sure.
because and I've reached 10 million people with the work that I've been doing over the last several years, talking about particularly, because I want to make sure, and I don't reach men, so I appreciate the opportunity to come on your show.
Sure.
I really don't. So that's why this matters. But mostly women listen to me. so,
Well,
so anyway,
that's not a surprise, and I
yeah,
believe you, and that's why it's frustrating because I would listen to you. I mean, you're on my
yeah,
show, right? And so I
amen.
feel like I'm doing these things that you should do. I'm not saying I'm doing it for
Yeah,
those reasons. I'm doing it
yeah,
because my marriage fucking ended, And
Sure,
now I'm trying
sure.
to do it better. And it feels like
Excellent.
doing
Yeah.
it better isn't working out.
Yeah, no, no. If you're doing it better. So if your listeners share the experience that you have, the first thing that they should do a few things. Let's see if I can come up with all three because I'm just coming up on the spot here. But the first thing is go to individual therapy if that's necessary.
Oh
It
yeah,
may not be.
100%.
Okay. So I love therapy. I do therapy obviously with my clients. I consume therapy as
Yep.
an advanced human being as you are. Doing therapy is good. So
Yep.
if you do that, right, and I hear in the way you've asked these questions that you've done a lot of work
Feel
on
like I have.
yourself and a lot of
Really.
thinking about these things.
Sure.
It's clear to me.
Yeah.
So if you do that work through that, then you don't, again, it's a different way to think about it. You just look at yourself and you think to yourself, because it's helpful and accurate, that you are not going to settle
No, that's true.
for anything less than the kind of relationship and connection that you want. That's the point. So if you have not found somebody, there's could be a bajillion reasons for that
Right.
that have nothing to do with you. Now, I can say that because I've had a
Right.
conversation with you for the last 50 minutes.
Right.
But there's lots of people who are not in this situation, probably listening to this right now, who couldn't carry on a conversation for this long. As an example, just one fucking thing
Right.
that
Right.
could be in the way.
Right. Right.
So yeah, bottom line is where is the love of my life?
Yeah. Yes. Can I get
Where
her
are they?
address, number, something? Give me. Can I just? It gets frustrating, and
No, of
again,
course it does, I'm
you
sure.
try to look for a narrative that for me, I've done a lot of self talk work, right? And I don't want my self talk around this situation. I don't want to be delusional either and be like, it's fucking all women. I'm not. That's not my thing.
Yeah,
Again,
please don't.
I got two daughters.
Yeah.
That's just a it lies with racism and any kind of ism, right? It's just lazy thinking, and I'm not going to do that. And again, I'm bolstered by the fact that I have two daughters who I love more than anything in this world. So I don't have any interest in viewing it that way. So what way is it then? That's sort of what I'm trying to figure out. But I think obviously it's important to realize that it is not my fault, right?
No. Well, I mean, I
Circumstance.
don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I
can't
don't
say
know.
that for sure,
Sure,
but I
sure.
don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I will say I'm challenged by the fact that I don't live in a major city.
Oh, okay.
I'm in bumfuck Pennsylvania. Like,
Okay.
there's not a lot of. I'm not in New York City or
Los Angeles.
I'm not in LA. Although I'll be in LA for work. We'll talk after this. But I'm not. My population isn't as big as a major city. I'm 2 hours from
Yes.
Philadelphia. I'm 3 hours from Pittsburgh. I'm an hour from Baltimore, but that's still an hour, and it's not quite ideal and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that that's a factor as well.
It's a huge factor. It's a huge factor. A lot of clients will ask me, where should I live?
Right.
I could get a job here, or no, honestly, this is a
I believe
conversation
it.
I have a lot about.
I
I could
believe
get
it.
a job here, I get a job here. Where am I going to find the love of my life, Dr. Greg?
Right, right, right.
And the point that I usually make to them is live around people you want to live around in a place that you want to live if you can, which we understand there's a lot of people struggling with uh, the economy and all the other things. So
Yeah.
most people don't have a choice where they
No,
live.
no, I'm stuck.
Yeah.
The kids, that
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. So yeah, so yes, that will be limiting. Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to you and what you do. How do people find you? You want to talk a little bit about what you do, your program, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I think the most important thing is that if folks want to hear about other thoughts that I have about relationships, they can follow my Instagram account, Dr. Greg Matos, or TikTok, same tag. They can find my once active charity called the Better Love Project on YouTube at a Better Love Project, which houses 3 years worth of a podcast talking about lots of the things that we talked about today.
Nice.
And yeah, and if people are in California, they can always work with me, in my private practice. So, but you can literally click a link in a bio, or maybe I share it with you and your
Yeah,
listeners can find it. But
absolutely.
yeah, my mission in life, I almost died when I was 20 years old protecting an American consulate in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, wow.
And when I when I lived through that, I thought to myself, what's a healthy way to look at life right now? And one of the ways was, which was another Marine told me this, which is like, you're in your afterlife now, brother, he said to me. So with the time that I have left on this earth, I want to help as many people find the love of their lives and be able to create healthy romantic relationships, but also to have like really, really good friends in their life. I'm going to try my best to do that with as many human beings as possible before I die.
Oh, that's a worthy mission, obviously. It sounds amazing. I encourage everyone to check out all your content because I'm certainly going to because I sure would like to find the love of my life. That's for sure. So,
Amen.
thanks for doing this. The last question that I ask everyone is, what words of wisdom would you impart to a man just beginning his divorce journey?
What words of wisdom that they're just starting on their journey. Yeah. Hmm. I would say remember, even though it might be really, really hard to, remember all the reasons why you're awesome.
Excellent.
Start there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Dr. Greg, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for watching and or listening. If you are feeling alone on this journey, please join our Discord server. Becoming a Phoenix is not a solitary act. It is one achieved through community. Our Discord server is just that, a community of men fighting to survive, thrive, and rise from their divorce. Go to risingphoenixpodcast.com/Discord for information on how to join and what is contained in our Discord server. Please join us.